The old teachers of his school are standing in his balcony, teaching him formula. He was opening the palace like a magical book. Every time when he opens a new door, he remembered any new information. When he woke up in the morning, he felt that this dream could change his life. He decided that he will learn this technique from every day, but he would have to remember a lot of things. But I have a lot of things. When I have a lot of things, but when I have remembered a lot of things, but when I remember it, I will remember all the things, but this technique will work. He decided to open the next chapter of the book. The next chapter opened the speed reading and information abolition. He was already so impressed by the memory palace technique that he was sure that this chapter would also change his life. He started reading the book, and in a few minutes the doors of a new world started opening. In a few minutes. Reading and thought is right. It is okay to read quickly, but if it is not understood, then what was the first technique? Minimizing. All the vocalization Tencel explained that people often read every word while studying. Repeat in the mind as if he is speaking silently. This habit of our reading. If you like our free summer, then you can subscribe to our channel. Hearing this, he listened to Raghav. Will focus on the words and the brain will process the words directly, without repeating them. Raghav decided to try it immediately. He opened the book and put his finger on the text first. At first it felt something strange, as if a child was learning to read the book, but after a few minutes he felt that his speed has really increased. He said to himself. Focusing on block of text, he explained that if you pay attention to every word, so your speed will slow down, but if you look at the entire sentence or paragraph at a time, then both your understanding and speed will increase. Raghav also tried with Raghav. He ran his eyes on the next page of the book and tried to see every sentence like a block, but as he practiced, he felt that he could feel like his eyes. I thought so much. I can read and understand that. After this, the Tencel wrote about pre-reading strategy. He said that if you skim the text quickly before reading, then your brain can process that information better. They break it in 4 steps. Ask what you want to learn from this text. Raghav also tried this process, tried to read quickly, which always seemed long and boring to him. He first read only the headings, then the first and last sentence of every section. After this, he divided the entire report into 3 parts. He said to himself, I just said what is the main point of this report and what action I want to take. Raghav felt like he has now read the report in 20 minutes. He would have read the report which he did not read for an hour, but the story did not end for an hour and 20 minutes. Nasal had said. Another important thing. Second nature. Raghav understood that if he would not practice these things daily, then all this will become useless. He made a routine. Now he used to practice 15 speed reading every morning. He first started working on his old magazine articles. Faster, understand better. One day when he was in office, his boss gave him a new project report. The report was 50-page long. The boss said, Raghav finished it today and tell me what we have to do. First Raghav got nervous, but then he pacified himself and thought it is a perfect opportunity for me to try his new techniques first. Then he split the report first, then he read it into 3 parts and read it into 3 parts, and finally he finished the scan in the blocks and the blocks and the blocks. When he explained the essence of the front to his boss was surprised. He said that Raghav said how soon and how much analysis. Raghav just smiled and said that there is just a new technique that I have learned. That night when he reached home, he opened the book again. He thought the memory palace and speed reading changed my life, but the further techniques would be even more fun. But he did not know that what he wrote in the next chapter would be beyond his thinking. In this way Raghav's journey was just released, and the book of Raghav was just a result of the book. Was effective. Note: teaching methods. Till now techniques like memory palace and speed reading had given a new dimension to his life, but he felt that as much as he was fast reading, as soon as he used to forget some things, he thought that it would be a good way to make notes, but he has been doing the whole way from school time and the way the same boring lines and points right the same way, probably not as effective. Nasal Ellie wrote in this chapter that effective note tech about writing downing auto-writing downs autorms information that makes sense to your brain. Raghav found this deep and read himself and prepared himself that he would not only read this chapter but also his TANs will also include the habits. Raghav was interested in hearing this name from the start of mind mapping. He thought it is a mind mapping. It seems like a detective film where a complete case is solved by adding everything. Branches show you what information is related to another. Raghav decided to try it immediately. he took out his diary and in the middle made a big ball. He wrote the office project plan in it. Now he started connecting all the points related to this topic like branches. The first branch was the budget. The budget was the second team member's third timeline in every branch, like he made a small branches from every branch like he wrote under the budget. He was clearing the recourse expenses, before seeing a long list. Now everything was spreading like a tree in his brain. In the next step, Tesla explained why it is necessary to make the notes visual. He had said that the brain processes image faster than text one you create. Colorful visual notes your brain retains the information. Peacock effective. Raghav thought that even when the teacher used to make colorful diagrams in school, she remembered it. She started using color pensions in her diary and she started using color pensions. The budget beat the blue team members and the timeline. He thought it seems like playing, but the amazing thing is that I am able to remember for a long time. The next technique explained the next technique, the Cornell method. Raghav had never heard about it. In this technique, the page is divided into 3 parts. Notes section, Q section and summary section. Raghav decided to try it too. He opened the page of a new diary and divided it in 3 parts. In the notes section, he wrote in the main points of his project meeting. Write keywords such as budget issues or deadline adjustments, and finally in the summary section, he wrote a summary of the entire meeting. Only was helping him clear things, but when he looked at his notes later, he would remember everything fast. He said to myself, "You can use symbols and doodles, it also saves time and it becomes easy to review notes." Raghav adopted it too. He started using symbols in his notes. For example, for an important point, he made a symbol of a star. For a question, he used question mark E. For the things he had to do immediately, he made an arrow symbol. Experiment, adapt and refine. Raghav understood that every human way is different. He could decide that he will make his own style by mixing all these techniques, and now Raghav, whenever he meets in the office or read a new article, he follows these techniques. One day his boss told him that Raghav told him that your notes are so clear and practical that I can't take much time to read your reports. How to make, and now I will teach others. Amazing. That night when he reaches home, looked at the page of his diary where he had made mind mapping for the first time, he realized how every technique was changing his thinking and working way, but he had one thing to realize, that this yatra of learning was not over yet. He looked towards the next chapter of the book where more new techniques were waiting for him. He told himself that this part of the next chapter is ready for the next lamp. He felt very personal for him even before he had heard many times that success on your mindset depending, but he never took it seriously. But now that he was feeling a big change in his life and work, he felt that maybe this is the deep lesson he needed. Nasal wrote in the beginning, grows with effort, dedication and a willing to learn. Raghav realized this line and felt that his own failures were thinking about her own. She used to assume every time that some things were not about her. She thought sometimes I had given up without try. Tansan said that growth mindset means preparing your brain in such a way that you see every challenge as an opportunity. It does not mean that you will win every time, but that you will learn something new every time. Raghav will give something new on this idea. He remembers the day of his office when he tried to learn new skills, but he had not been able to teach me herself. When he had stopped, he did not feel that he was not able to learn herself. He was stopping his progress. Tensel told in this chapter that the growth mindset, the most important to develop, is that you set the target of small, achieving small achievable goals. He wrote, I can just pay some attention to me. He wrote it in his diary like a goal, and at the end of the day when he completed it, he felt a little happiness. He said to himself, if I can do so much, then I can do more after this. Nasal said that to strengthen the growth mindset, he should celebrate every small progress. He wrote, celebrating small wins keeps you motivated and reminds you of your potent to grow. Raghav. So it will come when I will do something big. But then he completed another task in the office, which he is very nervous about, when he saw that his hard work had paid off. He wrote in his diary, today I did something new and it felt very good, that his confidence is increasing with the appreciation. Namal told another important thing. One sec Essel, what can I learn from this? Raghav remembered his previous failures. Once the promotion, he had gone to give interviews but he did not get a job. At that time he was cursed himself and said that I am not worth it, but now he started looking at this incident from a different perspective. He thought maybe I was not ready at that time. If I kept in mind the feedback from that interview, then perhaps he could do better next time. Now he started a new habit next time. Whenever he got something wrong, he would have written in his diary when he got a new habit. When he got something wrong, he did not get a new habit. If he found, he questioned himself, where did I make a mistake, and next time I can fix it. I saw that this practice started changing her thinking. The Tansel showed another way to strengthen the growth mindset. Seeing success in that promotion interview, he felt that this technique is increasing his energy and confidence. That his thinking has already changed a lot. Earlier, where he used to back after seeing difficult tasks, now he used to see him as a challenge. He said to himself, if I do not know anything today, it does not mean that I cannot know that I can learn hard work and patience. Just one day his boss gave him a big project. First Raghav would have scared it, but this time he said to myself, I can learn a chance of my growth. If I do it, I can do it in the right way. Divided into small pieces and worked on them one by one every day. When he completed the project, not only did his boss praise him, but Raghav appreciated himself. He thought that all this happened due to the growth mindset that I learned from this book. That night when he moved towards the next chapter of the book, he felt like he has given a new direction to both his thinking and life, but he did not end yet. He said that he will get to learn and he would get a book in the levies. I am thinking that I am furious in the learn of the book. Emerald turns and his eyes fell on creating an optimal learning environment. He told himself something new. I do not think that I have heard earlier that one should create a good atmosphere for studies, but perhaps I have to understand it deeply. Nasal wrote in the beginning itself. As soon as he read this, he looked around. There was a pile of books, notes and old bills on his desk. There was an old cup of tea near the laptop, and just everywhere there were scattered things. He thought perhaps my mind is also scattered like this room. If this book is saying right, then I have to clean it all immediately. He immediately looked at his phone, who was creating every minute. He thought how much attention was distracted. He picked up the phone and put it on the silent mode and put it inside the cupboard. Associate specific species with specific activities when you create. Audi created space for learning. Your mind automatic switches felt interesting. He felt that till now that studies was sometimes on the dining table, sometimes on the couch or sometimes on the bed. He thought that I would get tired quickly. That is why I would get tired soon. There should be a space that is just to learn. He chose a corner in his house and put it completely. He kept a corner in his house and he kept only a lamp there. He also kept a small plant so that the place would be more fresh when he saw that corner. He felt that he really won. The learning zone has become Tata had talked about routine in the next part. He wrote that a consistent routine things to prepare to ensure your mind that during the day, Raghav thought that I have no routine at the day. I have not read at night, and sometimes I decided to make anything in the morning, and sometimes I decided to make a routine. He decided to make a routine immediately. He decided to make a routing of 7 p.m. till o'clock. He will sit in his learning zone and study. He should not keep this time for any other work. I swear on the very first day when he adopted this routine, he felt that his mind is more clear and concentrated, but then a problem was diverted. There was a park near his house where the children used to play in the morning and there was noise of vehicles. He read in the book that background noise can self-focus but can help using their old Euros like noise cancellation headphones or cooling music. Removed in music. Tansan wrote disorder energy when your material are easily accessible and neatly arranged you can focus. Auntie, this book is commenting directly on her life. She arranged all the books and notes of her desk. She made different folders. When she did it for personal goals and learning resources, she felt that she could now think more clearly. Tansel had said another interesting thing. Comfortable chair and promote relaxation. Raghav of Even Saints also implemented it. She was comfortable. She placed an aroma diffuse on her desk, causing the scent of light lavender to felt that these small changes were increasing her productivity. Raghav slowly learned how to plan study sessions properly. Trying it, he set a timer on his phone and found that it was not only easy to study in small intervals but also feeling less tired. Gradually, Raghav had created an environment for his studies and work that was helping to bring out his full potential. Every day he would go to his learning zone and try to improve himself further. He realized that a right atmosphere not only makes your studies easier but also enhances your ability to solve problems. When he looked at the next page of the book, he said that he had said herself. Let's see what to learn next. Raghav's journey is now his last. She was at the turn. She had learned a lot from every chapter of the book, from mastering memory technique to cementing an optimal learning environment. Every lesson had added something new in her life, but she felt that all this was just the beginning. The real change will happen when she will implement all these things completely in her everyday life. She will picked up her diary and now she started writing everything. If I think it was not written, I will forget that he wrote how much memory palace helped him. Now he is the biggest. He could easily remember the information. He promised himself that he would improve this technology further. The speed reading chapter had made his life easier. He was able to read much faster than ever. He felt that he now enjoyed reading the same to read the lessons that he used to find heavily in his office. He started applying mind mapping and effective notes. Was surprised to see this progress, but Raghav's biggest change in his way of thinking growth mindset felt that failure did not mean defeat. He started looking at every challenge as a new opportunity. He felt that his ability is unlimited, just he has to try to become something better every day. The corner of his house, which he had made a learning zone, now became his favorite place. Every morning in there, when he sits there, he feels as if he has come to his own world in a place where only his goal and hard work goes on. One day he read the last page of the book. He wrote the tonsil there. Power of learning lies not in the techniques damsels but in the commitment to apply them consistently. Reading this line, Raghav realized that learning is a continuous process. It is never over. It never ends. He did not end. He closed the book and put it on his shelf with great love. He took a deep breath and thought that this book has not taught me just a way of learning, but Raghav also taught me the way of living. But it has not only taught me to live a way of living, but now it was inspired that he decided that he would not end his journey here. He promised himself that he would learn whatever he would learn. Will also share with others, and perhaps one day he will also see a book that can change someone else's life. Raghav's journey started with a book that changed the way to learn and live his thinking. First learned how to strengthen memory. Mastering memory techniques told him how information can be organized in a memory palace. The details of the big project used to remember easily. After this he learned the technique of speed reading. He understood that quick reading is not just meant to reverse the pages rapidly, but to take information effectively. He has to reduce the habit of repeating all the words in the mind. He has reduced the big paragraph to read the big paragraphs and started to skim in the small parts. It started to reduce the ability to understand the time of reading. He could also read and understand the most difficult documents too quickly. Tanslali gave her effective notes. Raghav also learned about methods of making that big information like mind mapping can be divided into small and connected parts. This helped not only to remember things but also got a chance to understand the relationship between the information in such a way that he started organizing his work notes in this manner, which made his productivity and increased growth and growth mindset. The reason for his failures was his thinking. He had every challenge he started looking as an opportunity. He learned how important it is to celebrate small success and make a way to learn failures. He started noting his every effort and progress in his diary. Now he used to learn and move forward from his mistakes. After this he understood the importance of optimal learning environment. He learned that he worked in a clean and systematic place. He prepared the mind and concentrates in his house there. He removed all the meditation and made a positive atmosphere, a balance between small study sessions and breaks, which increased his focus and productivity. Raghav slowly adopted all these lessons in his life. He felt that this process of learning was not limited to only techniques, but it was also improving her personality. She was now moving towards her better edition. She is moving towards her better edition. So he understood that real strength to all these techniques it is in implementing everyday life. He decided that he will continue this journey and shared his learning with others. Raghav's story does not end here, but that a new chapter starts with every new day. Then friends, it was our book. How can you like our book summary today? Tell me how to comment, and thank you, and thanks to your summer, and thank you.